Hey, thanks for checking this video out. This is going to be a quick, well, not so quick, so strap in test of the HDZero Freestyle VTX. I've got it in this iFlight XL5 V5 frame. It's mounted on top of the stack, so it's away from as much interference from the receiver, etc. as possible. Camera wise, I'm using the latest and greatest from HDZero, the Micro V2. It's the one that's switchable between 16:9 and 4.3 aspect ratio, which is the one that I'll be using here. Antenna wise, I'm using a True RC Singularity. It's the long one with the UFL connector. You can see it in the long green rigid TPU piece out the back of the quad. That gives me the best chance possible of getting decent transmission. For the goggles, I'm using fantastic SkyZone 04Xs. I'd highly recommend them. I've got the True RC patches upgrade on the front of the goggles, and I'm using two VAS Mad Mushroom V2 Ethics Edition, so they're really long and they get above my head as Omnis. So let's get to it. Okay, so let's start off. You can see I'm on channel R1 and we're on 25 milliwatts for the first test. This is a UK bando that I fly at quite a bit, as much as I can. I love this place, but it is multipath in hell, as you can see, with all the metal upright beams, the sort of lattice works. In fact, this place is nicknamed Gridworks because of them. It's a wicked little place. I'll get it out of the way right now, same as with any videos I've made before. Apologies for the crap flying. I am not the best pilot in the world, but you know, slowly getting there, and I enjoy myself, so it's all good. Beautiful day, just beginning to get the hints of summer here, and yeah, all is well. Right, I'm about to go out and through, and down here is a little bit of a nightmare sometimes because of that mound of earth on the side that's sort of blocking me and the quad, and then the dreaded building. So it's a breeze block brick sort of structured building, as you can see. Went behind it, crapped myself, had to punch out because lost video there, so couldn't fly through that. I'm gonna try and fly behind the building now, so directly behind myself, and yeah, that's not happening. So bonk the ground, and then let's get back to some better reception. So I'll go inside the building now. You'll be able to see where I stood. I was standing right behind the quad when I took off and looking out towards where the quad is. There's me, and let's bump up that power a bit. Right, so we'll go to 200 milliwatts now. Same channel, obviously, and repeat the same path as best as my crappy flying skill will allow. Definitely not the world's best pilot, but I enjoy myself, and I'm slowly getting better, so it's all good. Don't hit things on every single battery now. But definitely need to grow some balls, but don't we all? But yeah, you can see it's coping absolutely fine in here. 200 milliwatts is obviously what I flew before. I used to use the Race V1 VTX, and yeah, loved it. Obviously just a bit limiting on output power, so fingers crossed that's what this Freestyle VTX sorts out. We'll go through the building again and back out. You'll see the mound of earth there on the right hand side. It's earth and rubble and all sorts of crap, so I think I was probably a little bit high there, so probably wouldn't have shown the breakup so much. And then we've got the building. So yeah, I always used to be able to fly around this exactly the same on 200 milliwatts on the Race VTX. You know, you lose vision for the most part, but you can tell where you're going, so it's fine. Then we'll try and go behind the building. So I've got quite a few walls now in between the back of the building and me. Just lose it a couple of times there, but still fly through it. What a beautiful day, eh? It's just beginning to sort of hint that summer's on its way in Britain, and man, I can't wait. So yeah, let's bump this up again. So R1 again, and 500 milliwatts now. Save that, and we'll go for the same thing again. This was literally my first time flying the Freestyle VTX, so I was pretty excited to find out how she got on. All good in here with the multipathing. Sometimes higher outputs, especially on analog in multipathing environments, can create more problems than a lot of people think it helps solve, because you're just pushing out more power, more RF in the environment, and it's bouncing around everywhere. But doesn't seem a problem whatsoever on 500 milliwatts there, and still looking beautiful. So we'll head through and back out onto the main sort of torture test for this place. Really, it's a lovely little bit to fly, which is why I like to be able to fly out around the building, because you've got those two beams that you can power loop over that I'm just about to go under, and that's looking quite a lot better. At 500s, definitely flyable. Normally you wouldn't really be going as slow as this. I'm sort of trying to keep it slow and steady and sort of pause to, you know, highlight any RF problem areas or anything. That wasn't too bad at all. Still got quite a few of the brick walls between the back of me, so I'm not using the patches at all. You can see I don't spin around or anything. I turn my head sometimes, try not to too much for this test, just to keep everything as fair and consistent as possible. And now we've gone to max power, which is the 1 watt that we've all been waiting for. So let's do the same thing. Pretty happy to see instantly there. I was a bit nervous that it might create multipathing problems almost straight away, but doesn't seem to, especially going a bit deeper into the back. So I've got quite a bit of metal in between me now, and yep, no problem whatsoever. It's all good. Happy days. Back out and around. Really do like this area. It's a lovely little bit. There's so much that you can do here. Great fun. It's a load of like rooms up and above where I'm standing that you can fly in and out of, or in my case crash in and out of, or crash in and go and pick it up and walk out of. That was pretty good. I'm quite low there and didn't seem to have much of a problem whatsoever with that earth mound. And we'll see how we get on around the back of the building. I was expecting, yep, just like analog. Well, in fact, you'll see, because I'm going to put some analog footage up after this to give you a bit of an idea of what analog is like round here on a decent power level. But we'll get to that. And now round the back of the building. Yep, all good. Expect that bit of breakup. Obviously, it's always going to have some degree of breakup. It's not. There's no magic unicorn dust in this VTX. It's simply putting out more power that we need. So yeah, I'm more than happy with that. And yeah, that battery is getting about toast. So we'll go back in and let's check out the analog, just for a giggle. Right, so let's start with getting set up. This is essentially the same quad. It's the same frame that I've got. It uses a TBS Pro 32 Unify HV, and I've set it on maximum power to start with on 1 watt. Same channel, R1 and 1 watt. In fact, it's 1 watt plus, I think they call it. Some people have measured it at like 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, but we're going to have to kill that sound a bit, because not only can you hear the sound of my motors, but you can hear the horrific sound of the static in the audio as well, because it's being picked up on the DVR from the inbuilt mic on the analog VTX. Straight away you can see all the flashing and multipathing and stuff. It's no good, and the picture just looks bloody terrible, to be honest. I hate flying analog now, and in fact after today I was like, yep, I've got another Freestyle VTX that I'm going to chuck in this quad as well, and basically have 2 absolutely identical quads. So one as a backup, because yeah, I don't want to fly this, to be quite honest. So yeah, anyway, let's go out here. Remember, this is on maximum power. See quite a bit of breakup. I will add a bit of a caveat here. Well, actually, let me just see how we get on behind the building. Yeah, more than flyable, but well, yeah, it's just analog, so yeah, it might be flyable, but it's definitely not enjoyable, put it that way.
yeah, my bit of a caveat is I'm using on my Sky Zone 04X goggles. I'm using the built-in receiver, not the built-in, the supplied receiver. I believe they call it the Steady View, and it's quite well known that lots of people have issues with it. Normally, the issues are a rolling screen when it loses its video sync capabilities. I don't, with my camera in this, which is Cadex Ratel 2, I don't get the rolling screen, but I don't know, I just don't think. I used to have on previous goggles, HDO2s, I used to have a fusion module, and I swear that that was a little bit better with its sort of mixing capabilities than this Steady View is. So all cards on the table, I don't think this is the best that I would be able to receive this analog, but it's certainly not the worst. And yeah, again, it's just analog, so there we go. Anyway, that was that. Hopefully you got to see that. I'm not too worried about talking over that, but thought, do you know what, because a large high power output on analog VTXs can cause multipathing problems, I thought let's do a fair test and wind it down to 200 milliwatts. So this is now 200 milliwatts, and we'll see how this gets on. Give it a bit of a test. So initially it seems like multipathing, is it better? I don't know, not a huge amount. Still, just it's the losing colours all the time is just a nightmare. I don't know about anyone else, but I just can't fly in black and white very well. You lose the colours, and you lose like a level of contrast and definition, and yeah, even at like these slow speeds it's hard to make out stuff anymore. So just to prove the point, I hit that branch. No, I didn't. That's my crap flying. That's not the analog. I hit that 9 times out of 10 when I go past it anyway, that bloody branch. One day I'm going to take a pair of snips and get rid of the branches there, because yeah, my lack of skill doesn't allow me to get around that most of the time. But there we go. Anyway, let's see how we get on behind the building on 200 milliwatts now of analog. Yeah, coming up to it, and yeah, there we go. That's pretty crap. In fact, that was losing its sync, and to be honest, that probably wasn't the Steady View problems. That was purely because it's just losing signal. That little area there is so bad. So it is a real test for them. So yeah, there we go. There's your analog, and just for good measure, let's have a look at some DJI, hey? Because the guy I was there with was flying DJI. Let me have a crack. So here we go with the DJI, and first of all I apologise, this is going to make you feel seasick. I was flying someone else's quad using his radio, and he has his sticks quite loose. His name's Arthur, and Arthur has his sticks really, really loose, and they suit him a treat. He's a hell of a pilot, but for me it just made it really hard to keep everything steady and smooth, but still enjoyed it nevertheless. And you've got to admit that picture is fantastic. It looks really good on a big monitor in the goggles. To be honest, I didn't notice a ridiculous difference between this and HDZero, and I think it's a credit to HDZero how close it actually looks in the goggles to DJI quality. I did notice a lot of white balance shifting in this flying DJI, and I have noticed that before when I've flown DJI previously on other people's quads. Yeah, well, there you go. You just noticed it there, and I did find that like quite noticeable. This is using Cadex Vista, and I'm pretty certain it's a Nebula Pro. And I asked Arthur, there goes that white balance again. I asked Arthur if I could try it on the best settings possible for DJI. So we're running in 50 megabits at 1200 milliwatts on channel 3. So it's pumping out everything that it can. Anyway, we're going behind the dreaded building now, and that's pretty good. I sort of hover here for a bit. So yeah, decent result there, definitely. You do notice, or I noticed, that DJI doesn't seem to handle foliage and grass so well. Look at the foliage and bushes behind the building now. They're sort of quite mushy, and then they clear up a bit, but nevertheless, it's still managed to cope round here really well. I do notice that when you're flying faster with DJI, stuff like foliage and everything does begin to blur quite a bit. It seems that faster movements are kind of where it struggles more, probably because it doesn't get so long to
transmit and then retransmit the data if it needs to. But flying slow and steady like this, which to be honest is pretty much all I wanted to do. I didn't want to risk Arthur's lovely quad and gear with my crap skill, so I flew not quite nice and steady. Anyway, going around that building again, it's all good. I don't know whether you notice it so much in the DVR, but when I was flying, I did seem to feel that every now and then it would skip a few frames, if that makes sense. I don't know whether that was the latency going up and down, because you'd sort of, I kind of feel this jump every now and then. I sort of had to question myself, go, did that just jump? And it sort of puts you off for a second. So whether or not I'm just being nitpicky and looking for it, you know, let's face it, at the end of the day, I'm a massive HDZero fanboy. I don't care if anyone calls me that. I do love the system. I love the whole ethos around it, and Carl's passion and motivation behind it, and the community and everything. So yeah, I'm definitely unbiased towards HDZero, but I can 100% appreciate how good DJI is at what it does. So still flying on. Wanted to push the range a little bit more and see what DJI was capable of, and see if I notice any differences there. So going around that building again, and then I'm pretty sure now, I thought, yeah, I think I did. Let's push it out towards this building a bit. Did actually later on in the day fly the HDZero Freestyle at 1 watt behind this structure, and it managed all of it fine. Yeah, there's a little bit of breakup, but we'll see. Watch, pretty certain it was around the back of this. If you watch in the bottom, the delay in milliseconds, you'll see it jump quite a bit. I think you'll see it jump, yeah, sort of jump 90-ish for a split second. I think this readout is a little bit behind. I mean, it went quite blocky there. But obviously it's a long way away, but we are at maximum power. You can see the sides of the image all went blocky for a second there. And like I said, I did fly the Freestyle VTX behind here. Maybe I'll put that video up, or probably this video's gone on for way long enough already, but I'll probably next time I go back record another flight on the HDZero Freestyle VTX at 1 watt behind all of this as well, so you'll get an idea of the breakup and the penetration and the range there. Just saw another bit of blockiness behind there, so on that, but overall still really good. Yeah, I think we're oh no, do I go over the building? Yeah, awesome. That's one thing that I will say I could not do before, and 200 milliwatts on HDZero really struggled flying over the roof there for some reason. Even pointing patches up, really used to get a lot of breakup, and with this 1 watt can fly over there now, great, no problem, which is good because it means I can get my quad stuck up there at some point, so fantastic. But yeah, massive thanks to Arthur for letting me have a crack with DJI, and he's never flown HDZero before, so let's give him a go on the old HDZero and record his impressions and see what he thinks about it. Let's have a look at that, eh?
It's completely different.
Yeah, it's totally standard Betaflight 4.3. Everything is standard. The tune, the rates, everything.
My rates are a lot higher.
Yeah, I'll bet. I think it's 670 on each axis.
Mine is at 900.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, it'll feel really slow.
Mine are both as mushy in the middle.
Yeah.
Not far off.
Yeah, I've got
a
bit of deadband and expo and stuff, so.
Yeah, when you go behind that building, it becomes quite...
Loads of static.
Yeah.
Yeah, I notice it. The trouble is my patches that I've got on that are quite directional, and you're facing away from the building behind that you flew on.
You just need to get used to it because you can fly through it.
Yeah, yeah.
But when it gets all staticky at first, it just...
Yeah, it scares you.
Disorientates.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But the picture is there, it doesn't roll anywhere, it still stays there.
Yeah.
And you can kind of power through. Is that 1 watt?
Yes, I think so. I think I'm on 1 watt. Yeah, I'm pretty certain that is. I'll find out when you land.
Being behind this pile of rubble.
Yeah.
Just over there, when you fly through there, it gets quite bad.
Yeah, you're getting breakup.
I don't even notice that flying DJI.
No, you won't. It means that pile of rubble there, that the green bushes are all full of rubble, solid rubble. You can probably see if I zoom in. Yeah, that's all solid rubble.
Now. So if you fly low over there, it just becomes static.
Mm-hmm.
Is that still Betaflight?
Yeah, standard Betaflight 4.3.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, yeah, it's all right.
Better rates.
Yeah.
My small one on 4.3
Uh-huh.
didn't bother to the big ones yet.
Yeah, I'm really liking 4.3 so far, definitely.
Yeah, I don't get those people that still on 3.5 or something,
Yeah.
3.57,
Yeah.
and swear by it.
The best version of Betaflight ever, 3.5.
Those people probably same people are still on Windows XP.
Windows XP. Yeah. Can't tell where you're gone now. Ah, right, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, I see. Yeah.
That was a mistake going there. Mike Water can go there nice and easy.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure.
This feels so weird that we get tied.
Yeah.
Start to panic.
Because of the rates and stuff.
Yeah, the field of view is different as well.
Ah, right, yeah.
Camera angle probably slightly different as well.
Yeah, yeah. Can't remember what my camera angle is, I must admit. Oh, yeah. Full. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, right. Well, you're flying it better than me. Much better than me.
Been in this place more than anyone else.
Yeah, I'm sure. You only live 15 minutes up the road, don't
You come here and absolutely shredded.
you? Yeah. I put Betaflight 4.3 on my Mobula 6 and it completely changed how it feels. And the Mobula 6 now, it's amazing. I can actually fly it and I feel like I've got control. And all I did, I put 4.3 on and I followed Mark Spatz's UAV tech's like description. I think you've gone round the back now, right round the building. You will get quite a bit of break up there.
It's not as bad behind this building as it is behind that.
Behind the other one over there, yeah.
Yeah, behind there it gets worse.
Gets really bad over there, behind that.
I say after a few times you just, oh, that's bad, that's fucking bad.
Yeah.
That was full screen static.
Punch out. What is that behind the building?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just one completely static.
Yeah. If you move your head and turn like to your right, it does make quite a lot of difference. Yeah. Perfect. Nice one. First HDZero experience.
Yeah, not too bad.
Cool.